two teams as well, right? Back to that Blast Open best of 5 train was the final map, and G2 kind of made Vitality look a little bit absent on there. It was a fun, exciting last round of the map as well, where the bomb plant just goes down in the nick of time with a millisecond to go, and then Hunter comes out with the clutch at the end. Well, not really the clutch, just the finisher. Regardless, though, we are ready to get into the server here. Only one will actually stay on in this series as well. It's elimination and it's qualification between G2 and Vitality.
And straight on into the halls too, to just try and see where they are going to filter on out through. Rop's on point. He will be potentially looking to take first contact there. Just trying to get that information. Obviously doesn't want to try and get into an extended duel. And the rest of Vitality, they're going to have that rotator in connector. And obviously the others watching over Vines. Nice and turtled up, ready to go. But this just allows G2 some time to set themselves up, execute on this inside site. And look, they don't have to obviously commit here at the moment, but it does appear that way. So we'll just see how this filters out. We'll see how this, I guess, is reacted to by G2.
Yep, I'm just laughing on the wayside as well with Saw's profile picture actually there. We got to get this guy a photo, but right now we got to get some frags up in here. 50 seconds on the clock. The B site, the inner site, starting to be overwhelmed by Vitality just a bit. They're not even focusing on going for a bomb plant just yet. They want to take these frags, and they are starting to do so. Saw has been the only one to fall on the flip side at the moment. Vitality need to start to answer back. flameZ, good for a couple. But as the bomb goes down, it's 2 versus 2. And they are quite isolated at the moment. SunPayus trying to draw aggro at the moment away from Mattis to come back on in to get some assistance. And now we flip it back up. It's just SunPayus to try and win out this clutch. The bomb was tapped earlier, but Apex now confirmed he's off the bomb and he's just going to leap into the crosshairs. A big hug from SunPayus as G2 do get the pistol.
Yeah, look, Apex just charging him, hoping he could get him just before that reload, but unfortunately mid-air accuracy, not what she used to be. Either way, well executed there from G2, just making sure that they pushed Vitality into the back end of the site, and then from there tried to make sure that they didn't get into range duels. USP versus Glock, not necessarily a fair fight in that instance, but there is a force coming through from Vitality, so they do have that M4 on Zywoo. Apex with that Mag 7, so he'll be looking to play nice close range. Get effort. Oh, that's okay. Forget the fact that the M4 ever even existed. They are able to recover it at least. Well, just a slow progression coming through from G2. The smoke, hopefully trying to catch a CT rotator out. Mattis does have control of Yard, and they do have players very deeply set. They aren't overly committed to the inside site just yet. And so they will lay that smoke down in Yard. Hoping to try and pull the rotation back off this B site.
Yeah.
But they...
would be a little bit cheeky if they do go down the stairs into the swag, but by the positions, you got a bit of timing on your side as G2 right now to not see what would have met you there.
Well, they are going to try and push for some information too now, Vitality. So they have got the idea, they've got the memo, and looking to try and make sure that G2 don't get into too comfortable positions in the post plant.
So there's an opportunity.
Yeah, this could be the stage for them, but maybe just some weapon recovery. I don't think retaking outside's a very good prospect from their positions right now. So obviously we know they bought into this round, preserving armor and obviously what weapons they can. And they do pick up that M4 too. Apex does pick that up.
Yeah, there's going to be a need for some good confidence for G2 as well coming in towards this one, right? With Hunter out of the picture.
Well, I mean,
gotta make sure that you can get Saw situated, and the calls are coming through as well after having, you know, the sort of scrappy play against Furia as well, where you end up, you know, losing Train in that one pretty convincingly, and over on Overpass. It looks like you were going to be able to close it before Furia comes out with 5 in a row to push to overtime. So we're seeing a little bit of slip-ups from G2. So the fact that they do get off to a good start here and maybe even further now with the nil buy of Vitality should be all right.
Yeah, the faster approach too now into connector. Obviously not predicting too much utility to come out from Vitality in the early stages. But again, just taking their time. Just allowing the smokes to marinate. And slowly taking territory. This double grouping through vines may run into trouble on the other side of these smokes. Particularly now with that repositioning of the M4.
Oh, if there's anyone that can deliver some damage within and around such as this, it would be ZywOo. Mezzy, though, quick to have his head removed from his shoulders, and same as ZywOo. So things crumbling just a little bit before flameZ gets one and loses the rest of his friends. Now just rots position unknown for the moment until he does get shut down. Pretty clean from G2 there, but now is finally the time to see what Vitality have in store on this map.
That is damn clean from Mattis. He's made that Galil look like it was, you know, had a laser attachment or something like that, right? Incredible accuracy. Keeps it nice and clean. And I think that's, you know, the best possible scenario right now for G2 is to take these first 3 rounds. But we'll see where it all breaks down. Obviously, SunPayus, difficult task, head-to-head AWP here at Vines.
Well, ZywOo with the AWP.
Doesn't matter.
Be favourable in the fight against SunPayus. Had an opportunity, but vision blocked by the frag. Doesn't have any awareness at the moment that Mattis has crossed, or does he? How long will he hang around here? Meanwhile, there's just only Rops at the B site. Full focus on the outer yard, and the onus really is on G2 here to make some decisions.
Oh, misses the chance there on Mattis. Takes a lot of damage whilst trying to do so too, so he has to fall and also call for some backup. But where do G2 regroup from here? Back towards the halls or back towards connector. They're going to send Heavy God down through underpass and they're just going to try and pincer this outside site. So first wave of utility comes through. That's just trying to lock the players into the yard.
Yeah.
Out support.
Well, the problems really started to arise for G2 when their opponents Inferior did start to mount a couple of rifle rounds in a row, right? So they need to make sure that they are capable of doing so in this iteration. That's a good start to enter back in towards this round. Remember, ZywOo was taken low early on. Bomb plant down. And position unchecked. Malbs starting to get activated into this one too. On the board, we can't say the same for Mattis anymore. An opportunity still for Vitality to get in towards this one. No kit currently in possession, and the dance around the bomb site as well. Some damage being done by Saw. How much is he going to be able to get away with here at the moment? Just a little bit of a how you going as Heavy God will finalize, and that is the first rifle round of Vitality. Not going their way.
It was well played by G2. They just played to their strengths, right? Like you had Mattis just getting a lot of territory taking, really putting a lot of pressure on Vitality, and it was very constricting in the way they played. The post plants were perfect. Look, Saw doesn't need to do a lot of damage. He just needs to put the pieces around him in the right place, and so far done a great job. So we'll see how that does continue to progress, because we do have a force coming through for Vitality. Again, just going for pistols, Mag 7 Scout. Could be, you know, it's always a dangerous buy. But so far, I like the way that G2 have approached these rounds so far. They've never really overcommitted early on.
Yeah. It's honestly kind of the best start that they could hope for as well, right? Into their own map pick with the substitution coming in toward the roster. You get the veto kind of going your way a little bit, knowing that Vitality looked very, very lost on this map versus Mouse yesterday. And you yourselves are looking, you know, 50-50. You're looking all right.
Well, Heavy God is just expecting more aggression, but he's just not too sure where it will come from. Either way, doesn't want to make sure, well, doesn't want to hand over his...
Oh, I have to say that. He's just going to get Mag 7'd in the face. Meanwhile, Mattis on towards the site. ZywOo trying to sit and be a bit of a stable rock in this round to try and get Vitality started here. flameZ opportunities with the scout as well. Time is not too worrisome just yet as the bomb plant attempted. There's no protection on it. Lucky for Saw that the reload had to come out for ZywOo, or was he? Because ZywOo is angry right now. Rops will get the final. A round that Vitality didn't have too much business in finding. They seal the deal.
I don't know why they were so focused on getting into post-plant positions without necessarily protecting the bomb planter for the entirety, but I mean, you can see just how an inch of miscommunication is going to cost them in this series. So, not that communication can be measured in inches, but hey, why not? ZywOo just turning that round on its head. As you would expect, SunPayus was just deleted.
Well, how much does this get better now for Vitality on the CT side?
Just again, slow methodical approach from G2. It's worked for them so far. This time a little bit more CT aggression, trying to take control of connector, but they don't really want to be forward and try and hold it. Heavy God pretty much just rinse and repeating these last few rounds, just the same passage, the same early plays. Does see the shadow, but can't do anything about the fact that he's being aggressed. So they have control of underpass and that short let up. They're not going to hold it. But what it does do is it really restricts the way that G2 can move around this map now. So they really have to go back through the long way in towards this B site. And if they do want to go back outside, they had to re-clear the underpass. So it's not really ideal. It's just going to chew up quite a bit of time.
And the problem now as well is Vitality are just playing default around the whole map too. So as long as they can cover every angle, they'll have a quick decision to be made. It's a good peek in from flameZ as well. Recognize that no one's over towards Hecon anymore, and that with 30 seconds to go, probably is going to be a bit of a B angle. ZywOo starts to cheat over towards this side of things as well. There is a little bit of utility for G2 to get and execute in towards the site, but it has to get the shots coming on out. Mattis, good for the first one. Apex. Saw, what are you going to be able to do right now? Because you're losing all of your team. You're the only one here, and you're not able to find anything either. A great stronghold on the B site for Vitality.
All right, man. Like, I don't know. ZywOo's just found the clear air here at Chengdu and has been able to delete G2 in that round. That's just so clinical. That's exactly what you expect out of the star player. That's exactly what they need in this series too. They are 4-2 down, right? Like, that's probably a bit of a surprise in itself, given the fact that obviously G2 do not have their IGL. They do not have Hunter, who, in all honesty too, has actually been quite a strong fragger for them. I think that's probably another factor that you're going to experience here, is the fact that you don't have his fragging power as well.
Yeah. Is this going to be the swing situation now as well, right? Similarly to earlier on for G2, they get a good start, and then it starts to crumble, and it's not a good tasting cookie. Just the pistols to see what they're going to be able to do. Some individual looks as well on the extremities, but no budging from Vitality. Build up a lot of this economy as well.
Just no overextension from Vitality though. They're quite happy to sit back, relax, crank the AC to 11, max chilling.
Well,
on the back of that contact, they're going to get into the inside site, try and get that bomb plant down. Rox is going to remain rock steady.
Yeah, at least the bomb plant does go down for G2 here, but that's kind of all they're going to be able to get. Apex, the only casualty for the side of Vitality, and again, this is just a situation where those sort of rounds should not be lost. Take a stab in the dark at Mongols on that one, but they still managed to come out with the series in the previous. Vitality now looking to try and tie up the scoreline. G2 don't want to see that.
Absolutely not. But definitely feel as though Vitality have been able to warm themselves into the series. And just dumping that chunky utility on T-Connector. Not that we're seeing G2 necessarily try and change the pace, but it's just making sure that's never really going to be an option.
Yeah, ZywOo doesn't really feel the need to bring out the AWP at the moment. He's just doing a good T cosplay with the AK that he's been holding on to for quite some time. So we'll see when he wants to bring that one out or not. Feeling favorable to not really needed at the moment. You can't blame him with the sharp shots that are coming out. Lots of forward space at the moment as well. An early rotation idea for Vitality if they do want it, but it is this slow pace from G2 again on this map that really just makes you wonder, where are they going to look to end if it even is this B site? There's already a bit of a bolstering up of Vitality. They should get the idea soon.
Well, Saw comes face to face with Rops. And Heavy got, well, I mean, didn't want to reveal his position, but also didn't get an opportunity for trade now. As they do find another on the entry to B. But the rotation's already swinging through, so this is difficult. The bomb's down on lower. It's out in the open. They've got to try and find their way through. Heavy God cannot capitalize. And SunPayus is going to try and do his best, but he's low. It doesn't matter, actually. He's created enough space for himself.
Spotted him. 1 versus 1. Will be the 1 versus 3 as well, and mezii, he needs to try and find the right reposition. There's 10 seconds to go. Does SunPayus still want to go for this fight, or does he focus on getting the bomb plant down? He might have the timing. He'll spot him out. He can get to a bit of safety, but he's going to go for the repick. No, he's going to have to focus on the bomb plant now. mezii can start to get a little bit closer, but it is the HP advantage for the G2 member right now. The angle, he tries to get the headshot line, but it's a bit better from mezii. There was an opportunity there for G2 to hold on to the lead, but now Vitality will tie.
That would have been an incredible round from SunPayus, right? Like that, to be fair, didn't feel as though it was going to be winnable for him, right? You had flameZ.
I mean, they were all low, though.
Like, they were all there. They were low, but they also had AK, so...
This is true. This is true.
SunPayus did it the hard way.
Oh, we have a Saw photo. There we go.
He reveals underneath the shredder mask that he is Saw.
Halloween is gone now. So back to the normal form. Orf's out for ZywOo as well. More of a forward position from Rops this time. Anticipated as well that there might be a bit of aggression this time in the brown halls. And you'd be kind of expecting that. The bait and switch play. Orp shot misses. Rops swings out, takes a chunk of damage for it, but it is Vitality finding another stable opener.
Absolutely. Nice and easy too. No real chance for reply. They're going to have to double back on through. Now, do they relinquish control entirely of halls and just try and refocus back on Southside site? Mattis has, I guess, just his role is to just rinse and repeat, take control of Vines, show presence. And what it does is it tries to anchor a player around Vines at all times. But he might be called into an earlier activation here, as we saw in some of the earlier rounds in the half, where it was actually quite effective. He was getting the, the one-ups on ZywOo, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now he's on point. He's got to lead the team through. They actually don't have a player closely playing and overwatching it.
Well, one of them is going to get smoked off right now in towards this A side too. mezii will get some vision before the smoke blooms and actually saw your teammate has just taken you out. Not the way that you wanted this round to go for yourself. And, well, the rest of your team, they are going to start to fall like flies as well. SunPayus, another opportunity in a 1 versus 3, but he's just going to get shut down before it even begins. Vitality take the lead.
That is difficult. They had to make that work. It's not an easy way to filter through. Oh. That's an unfortunate TK.
Yep.
Just CT appearing at the wrong moment. What can you do? Either shoot or be shot.
We've had a handsome amount of team kills and team knives and everything through this tournament so far.
Team knives?
Yeah, coming out of spawn on overpass, we've seen several. It's probably the most classic one, to be fair.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that was a matchmaking lobby when that happens, but I don't know. Looks as though it's going to be a pop and filter through to Vines.
If you can get the pistols to go through pretty quickly, you may very well overwhelm someone like ZywOo if a shot is missed, but there's a little bit more backed up presence around the Vines pop if the potential was there. What can Malbs do? Close to that smoke to sleek on out, but it doesn't come into play. Now mezZ up for some numbers. Traded on through by Saw. He'll double his scoreline, and he'll take a rifle here as well.
All right. Problem is, doesn't give them easy access into the outside site anymore via this route, back of 5 train. But there is a player. Rops has just anchored himself in CT spawn, so the progression through is not going to be possible. But right now with Heavy God's positioning as well, he is just running his default.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there was a bit of awareness from flameZ that it's going to be a possibility as well. And with 20 seconds to go, you need to start to see him get on in, because the plant will have to be forced here by G2 if they have any opportunity to try and take this round. Finally, Heavy God comes in, gets one. But remember, Saw and SunPayus were already noted where they are locked in. And hang on a second. They've managed to swindle a couple of kills here. The bomb denied. You have to go for the fight now, Rops. You got to run, and you'll spray SunPayus down. It would have been a costly round if Vitality were not swimming in a pool of money.
Oh, dear me. That actually got much hairier than it needed to. That was a squeaky chair moment for sure. Rops had done a great job there, denies the plant, and then just had to back out of that, but he didn't know the exact positioning of the second player, so he's not going to backpedal without that being known. So, gun round coming out now for G2. Everybody on the rifle, no AWP in hand. Some early presence being shown on that low ramp, hoping to try and get G2 to either pull an early rotate across, or Rops to burn all of his utility in trying to stop what is perceived as a rush.
And you'll see no AWP this time over towards the B stairs either. ZywOo pushing a more forward line into the T-con. And off yonder, Rops has already been pushed off position at the B site. It is the weaker space currently, if G2 could try and figure that out. Opener goes the way of ZywOo as well. Another opener to Vitality.
Yeah. You've allowed him a lot of space to be activated and have a lot of impact in this match already. Apex finds another. Saw's not going to get any information, continuing to try and push through into small ladder.
Well, this is 9 openers so far for Vitality. I remember they started off 0 for 4 in this map, getting a lot of throwbacks towards G2, having a decent start and then really faltering when their opponents gets the guns in their hands. Mattis now, he does not find anything either. This one is looking worrisome again for G2. Do you call for the save or not going into the last round of this half? Try and force out a bomb plant. You already dropped onto the site. You'd have to come out with a pretty marvelous 2 versus 5 now.
Yeah, you kind of got to go for it. Your loss bonus is going to be there. You get the bomb plant, you'll be able to buy, but Heavy God's got a lot of work to do from his position. It's the shooting gallery. Oh. And he's drawn into a long spray, which favours quite easily Vitality. Easy on the retake. All they had to do was bide their time. There wasn't any utility to work with in the post plant. No positioning either. So you could tell G2 have really cooled off after what was a relatively good start, but that's a nasty spam.
Someone vac this man. You can't do the coach dirty like that.
I was about to query whether or not it was just a blind spray, like as he was crossing past the doorway. No, it was far more sinister.
Yeah, for sure. Last round of the half now, just playing on the back of that loss bonus, of course. G2, 7 rounds in a row that they have dropped. Now, finally, they get out into the A site rapid fast. A 1-on-1 trade. But they do get stopped as quick as it starts to get begun. Sandwich Smoke will eventually start to fade on through as Mezzy reveals himself as well. The AWP on a journey to have a huge wraparound for Zaiwu.
Mezzy able to find one. The trade is not going to come through quickly, but Malbs is looking. Cleaned up. They're not having any success heading outside now at the moment. G2, I feel as though the steam has run out of the engine. Unless Heavy God can do some heavy lifting, that is not going to be the case. They close things out with an 8-round streak. Vitality finishing the half strong. We'll be back with the second half after the break.
have to understand how things are up here.
Well, it was a good start for G2 here on their own map pick of Terrain, but now things are looking like they are crashing out off the tracks. Vitality 8 in a row to round out that first half. Now we're going to see what the second has in store for us.
I guess you could say their plans may have been slightly derailed, but right now it's Vitality that has the plan on the T side, just waiting to see if any of these picks could be had across the map. Rops does go down early on to Heavy God on the inside, but yeah, just give him everything, man. Give him whatever he wants, whatever his demands are, just meet them.
It's a good flash, but there's nothing on the back of that for G2 either right now, and apparently we still just want to have a little tussle with Zaiwu, who's just absolutely destroying you one at a time. The P250 from downrange. Hitting some belters. But as Mattis finds his way into a sneaky spot, will he find the way to get G2 back in towards this round? It is just the single player deficit as the bomb is trying to get in towards the outer A site. The trade at least is there. It's all on a heavy god. Can he close the round as swiftly as he opened it?
Oh my goodness, dude. Like I just had to pick up my jaw off the floor. I don't know if he's got the right positioning to be able to take this, but I mean, there is probably no better position on the map that is, you know, relatively well covered too.
Yeah, but the problem is right now it's still the 1 versus 2, and Vitality are healthy as well. And there's just 2 of them. They're going to plan at the right spot for some good protection. ZywOo has a flash. ZywOo also has 17 kills. It's just a scary thing when he starts to really get activated into the server. But now, Heavy God, you're going to be able to bring this one back for a good start on the CT adventures of G2. You don't have a kit in play. No smoke to try and get a little bit of protection as well. You're taking your sweet merry time to get around this site as well. You got no focus, no overview on that bomb. The round is done. Vitality will be extending this lead. And it doesn't even look like he's going to get any exit frags on the tail end either.
No. He had to get a wriggle on too to get out of there. Otherwise, he would have died to that bomb radius. So he does manage to save through relatively little out of the round. And man, just you are witnessing greatness every time he touches a mouse. It's
well, they didn't touch the mice last time on this map, though. Remember, 13-3. There was a bit of absence to come on through in that one, but if we get ZywOo to come out with a couple of crispies like that and they continue to run, oh, we can certainly see some big things continue to go for one of the players of all time.
Early presence, just looking to be shown towards Vines. Just keep their opposition focused, hopefully try and pull them and push them apart. Saw in underpass, so it does look to be numbers grouping towards him as well. That could be problematic, but they are happy to try and take the range duels at this point in time. They don't want to let the you know, inferior weaponry of G2 try and close that distance. But they are relatively nicely grouped as well. Aside from, you know, Mezzy, who's just holding things down at Vines, he's just got to make sure he stays deep and he stays alive as everybody else gets themselves into position for the execute.
Well, there's some smokes that go back out towards this A site right now as well to draw a little bit of attention still from G2. It's going to bring them for a little look in towards the B-holes as well. SunPayus good for 1 and Heavy God. Okay, now we start to cook a little bit, but we overlook the rafters. Not like this. ZywOo still ever so omnipotent in this map, putting up the numbers, but with 20 seconds to go, bomb just to get established now.
He's on form. Able to just rescue that potential round-ending moment. Now, Saw's got some good positioning, and it's just on timing now as to whether or not he can get flameZ. He doesn't actually get past ZywOo, though. He's just gatekeeping this round, man.
He is absolutely doing everything. He might even be on for the full 5k. Oh no, flameZ has stolen it. Not like this. How many 4ks have we had that just get stolen in Chengdu so far?
Talk about efficiency as well. I don't think he even emptied, you know, emptied that first clip. Like, insane when they need him. Obviously, right now against a, you know, depleted G2.
Yeah.
So we'll take that with a grain of salt, but
there is some salt there for sure, but you're coming out with a performance like this, it's definitely the throwback to the MVP mindset of the Austin Major earlier this year, right? So you want to see all of your power play players, so to speak, back in form. This is good, and that's better. He's just opening up the accounts again.
Just let him go, man. Just let him on that leash. Let him off. He's happy to just be able to be given so much freedom, so much space. Stacked in her sight too.
Doesn't matter, mate.
Yeah, bring them all on.
He'd love that at the moment. Boost up them numbers, and he might even get the opportunity right now with the way that G2 are starting to waltz up into these holes. But he is looking the wrong way. He's got his teammate there to assist him where needed. Apex. He's going to chime in for a little bit of damage in this round, but ZywOo certainly, again, just looking to do what he can. All 5 alive. ZywOo getting the lion's share of kills in this round. We inch ever so closer to Vitality. Ever since the beginning of this map, going flawless from their first round that they get.
Yeah. This is, unfortunately for G2, they're kind of going out of this map without a real whimper. They had the first 4 rounds, but honestly, since then, it has been a very rough boat ride with your captain ZywOo at the helm.
SunPayus, though, has been able to bring out the boomstick. Are we going to see some echoes come back for G2 now? Or is it all just going to be ghosts still come through to haunt you? Vitality, a quicker one looking to be propped up towards this lower site.
He's got a lot of work to do, hasn't he? His prison's not known just yet.
Good flash. In from the team. Heavy God good for 1. Can't make it a double. And meanwhile, you blink and you miss all of the red in the kill feed. It is dripping with the blood of G2. That is Train at the moment. It's a absolute wreck. 12-4 now for Vitality map point.
Yeah, you're right. You can't take your eyes off it, though, as per, you know, every other train wreck you're seeing. And I think, you know, Rops was the star of that last round. Just, you know, just to give ZywOo a break. You want to keep him fresh. There's still, you know, another map to potentially play here. If things keep going the way they are, this might actually be a relatively quick affair on the second as well. But just dumping that utility early on in the piece, making sure they don't face early aggression. But the buy from G2 really is just whatever they can muster. It's not necessarily the most confidence-inducing buy, but they've got to find a way through. If anything, to be honest, it's probably Malbs that, for me, is sort of a real missing piece of the puzzle for G2. Hasn't really found his footing in this match, and I think it's safe to say that he's probably missing that that guidance that Hunter brings to G2. And it's not necessarily a great map for Vitality either, which is probably even more concerning. But you know, after this, it's sort of forget about Train, move on to the next map in the series, and try and full focus forward.
Pretty much Mirage around the bend for the second in this series. This one's a lot slower, though, for Vitality, which has led into G2 pretty much dropping all of their utility. Another smoke over towards T-Con now, which is going to be inconsequential. Saw's going to see what he can do over there as Mattis gets a bit of an idea of where a pincer might be coming in towards. 20 seconds to go now. Vitality start to get activated in towards this outer yard. Rops will fell Malbs, who you just mentioned. Looking a little bit lost here in this one. flameZ, definitely not. They're making sure they're cordoning off all of these angles and getting the trades, more importantly. Now just Heavy God to see if he can deny things here, but the answer's going to be no. 13 rounds in a row for Vitality to close this first map. Very, very commanding on Train.
Yeah, an incredibly commanding map for them. Once they got going, they didn't stop whatsoever. It was the express train, stopping absolutely no stations other than at victory. And I think it's safe to say that you know, this particular matchup in their head-to-head might not necessarily might not necessarily be one that people refer to. It'll have that asterisk over it with Saw having to play, but nonetheless, right? Like, these two teams historically exchange series back and forth, and obviously are meeting each other at the pointy end of the tournament. Obviously not in the elimination match for the lower bracket. So this is probably unknown territory for both these two teams, regardless of who's in the server.
The problem for me, though, Jim, is we do go onto the map pick of a Vitality right now, so they're being confident enough to pick this one, and rightly so. It's 6 losses with 1 win in the middle there against Fluxo for G2, and then you add that caveat, of course, of Saw playing instead of Hunter, so we'll see if they can at least get off on the right foot on this CT side right now. An opening kill would be gorgeous if they can find it, but the answer is going to be no, and it might even just be an absolute resounding no on this round. 5 versus 2 already for Vitality as the bomb plant goes down.
Yeah, just sending it straight through middle. The 2B players are locked completely out of the site. They don't even have vision. Besides, the presence shown in mid connector, they had no idea what was going on. They can only save their weapons, and for the A holders, for the mid holders, it was all over very, very quickly. Yeah, they had some contacted short. They just steamrolled their way into the site. It looked maybe beginning the way that it ended on train, and Zyra's just in going for more. He's not happy to let them save. So they're really going to go for the throat.
Yeah, no Kevlar to be held on here, unfortunately, but Mattis is giving it a good old crack at the noggins of the Vitality members. Is he going to be able to hold on to anything at the end? Well, actually, maybe so. There you go. 3 kills at the tail end, but the round will still go to Vitality anyways.
Yeah, Mattis giving it a fair shake of the sauce bottle. Unfortunately for him, they were all saving kills, just trying to hold on to his life and not give anybody on Vitality some extra money heading into this round.
He's got
himself 900.
He got a pretty good one on the flameZ there as well, mind you.
Yeah, that was Dennis-esque
shot. Yeah. Early damage being delivered to Zywoo. Down to 39 HP. In this 1-4 stack that Vitality are going to have to try and figure out as well. Do have Mattis with that A1S. But apart from that, down to the pistols and that MP9 for SunPayus. Gonna just be the slow start to this map, you'd assume.
Just slow and steady, setting a default. Pretty default smoke coming through window as they make their way up and back into the B halls just to re-progress back through to B.
And would you have it in the worrisome scenario for G2 that the solo B holder at the moment is going to be Saw and backed up by Malbs? This is a good roll of the dice for Vitality around the map with where they've wanted to end this one right now. We'll see what Saw can do to get on the board potentially. Oh, it looks a little bit atrocious. Somehow manages to get one in the piece though. The body shot bandit. Now there's a lot of damage delivered to these Vitality members. So as the bomb plant goes down, there's a very real opportunity that G2 can pick this round back up.
They are looking a little squishy and primed, ready for this retake.
Well, swing on out. It's a good trade to come on through. It's better from Mattis. This A1S being put to good use on a Zywoo. Mentioned it earlier. He was the one that was tagged up super early. First bit of damage delivered in this round, and he will deliver the last bit of damage as well.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt for Zywoo, despite the low HP. Just in that, jiggling, that juking match with Mattis. Gets it done, and manages to run over for Vitality. So, for G2, it's back to the drawing board. Back to low level everything.
Yep.
So, Saw is equipped Malbs with an M4 in this round. Let's see what damage can be done.
I'm a bit surprised that we haven't given that over towards Mattis, though, to be frank.
Yeah. But they have, Saw's given himself the shortest straw. He is the B anchor.
Oh, right.
Little step here.
That's a good bait and switch, actually, right now for G2. Bit of a shame that there's going to be no weapon pickup on the back of it for them. However, Apex is going to polish off SunPayus with the HE grenade. And now that you recognize the situation that the rifle investment is there for G2, just shy away from that. Gonna go to the B site and see that no one's home.
They're just going to be able to walk right on in.
Oh, they could have gone lowers and potentially found the bomb here. Gotta still be aware of that. Mattis is on his merry way. Will he find them, though? That's the question.
Or will they find Mattis? Well, unfortunately, he couldn't take matters into his own hands, as now they're going to be able to get into that B site. Nice and easy as you like. And Malbs will be looking to save that M4. There's no real retake prospects for him. We're into the save simulator here on Mirage, and maybe some time for that Mac 10 of flameZ to go and make some money, make some bank.
Just admire the scenery here on Mirage. Have a bit of a chit chat in towards your next round as well. Could potentially see a world where there's some money man action going for flameZ as well, but I'm going to start to shy away from that one. Malbs to just hold the A1S. Kind of starting to see what interest is going to be in this one for G2 as well, right? What is the normal core of this roster going to be able to put forwards despite not having Hunter here? Because they are still, you know, very high players, very world top tier caliber players.
Well, that caliber is going to be tested for both these two teams now as they head into the gun round. SunPayus is looking to get involved, to have some impact with that orb. Going to take it straight on down mid-con. Is he going to get hyper aggressive, or no? Just going to take the safe route. They've retained that Mac 10 on flameZ though, so he might be looking to get rowdy.
Yeah, you were talking about the hyper-aggressiveness. I thought he was going to start to steamroll it in towards connector and just insert himself there, but instead, it's going to be just a little bit of the mid-proceedings. As you do spot out Mattis, that's not going to be a favorable duel for you. You'll take a chunk of HP off him, though, down to 12.
Just slow and steady. Vitality, those default set smokes as they just slowly progress their way up through short. Apex on point.
Oh, the information though.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't find Mattis. Mattis is the expert there and finds the timing.
Looking.
SunPayus does find Rops.
A little bit disconnected here in this one from Vitality, and you got to remember as well that Heavy God is pushed all the way through Palace, so they knew that Vitality were not going to be tending back towards this A site, but G2, the fact that they're getting a couple of extra kills as well for some of these positions that they shouldn't have, it's very favorable to maybe have at least a foot in this race.
Yeah, they're going to give themselves something to work with. Now, they're giving Zawa a lot of respect, obviously. Not trying to push him before time. So, for Vitality, it'll be back to the drawing board. You're right, it was very disjointed in the way that they were playing that round. Going for individual peaks. Is he going to hold on to it? No! That's not good.
It's not the best outcome, but there is still money for Vitality to, of course, still have another investment in towards the next round. I think the biggest thing for me and for a lot of folks out there is G2 just still showing that they are, you know, playing this map. They're doing what they can. They'll make smart decisions, make sure that they also are hitting their shots and not letting somebody like Zywoo just absolutely steamroll you. Again.
Happy to not let him get too far. Top smoke, top mid, nothing spotted. Give SunPayus another round, but he's not going to be sticking things out in mid. He's going to reposition. Now, they are just waiting to see if there is success in mid with that pop. Zawi now just sets that smoke onto mid window. Actually settles halfway.
Oh, you would.
I don't think that's going to be a no-no.
You'd think that your smoke would go in towards mid window, wouldn't you? Apex is going to recognize now, of course, in his little expedition affair that that one has missed and maybe funnel himself in towards connector. A minute to go. And Vitality are going to set themselves up for an APOC. We're having a smooch in the smoke right now. Heavy God, I'm very surprised that you didn't start to shoot at them when you recognize that you can't move anymore. All up on the line. Crossfire to a degree with Malbs as well. But Vitality not budging too much in towards the site. As I say that, Zaiwu getting decapitated very quickly. The bomb needs to look to get planted for Vitality now.
Yeah, Saw just seeing whether or not he can see anything through the smoke. He's going to be the first on point into the site, and hopefully the rest of G2 will be the ones to follow. They're kind of stuck here at the moment. They've got to fight their way out.
Ooh. Fight they will. mezZ brings a bit of stability here for Vitality as well, and it's SunPayus. They know that he's got this AWP in play, and this one just looks to be maybe a little bit too far gone for him. No utility for progression. No kit as well, and no real time on the clock to be able to pick this one back up. And unlucky for G2 getting those rotation numbers over towards the A site and trying to stall them out, but a couple of missteps in the situations as well, as Vitality will claim another.
Yeah, they actually had to do it quite tough there. Their post-plant positioning was quite hampered by the fact that they couldn't get anywhere else in that site, right? Like they were fighting from flame box. It really wasn't a good position to fight from at all. So it was, you know, backs to the wall kind of stuff for them. Despite the fact that, you know, G2 were looking quite good in that retake scenario. So nice default set coming through. Top of catwalk smoke to allow progression through the boxes, but
well, speaking about progression, yeah, speaking about progression, double in the A main at the moment. Very forward line that Rops needs to be a bit aware of. He is holding the right position for it currently as well. So who is going to bite first potentially in what we've seen earlier from a Palace push from G2? Now we're getting a little bit of a look in towards apartments as well. It is good decision making on this CT side at the moment. Try and get a free frag and gain some favorable advantage. But the awareness of mezZ is absolutely there through the X-ray as well. Doesn't matter though when SunPayus hits the shot.
Ready for it. And so that just triggers Vitality to send numbers down through mid, see if they can actually puncture hole in through connector. Just waiting for that smoke to come up. Block sight from Ticket. Now Malbs, he has a line on Apex, but
no. That is filthy from Apex. Should have gone the other way. You would assume the smoke will eventually start to fade, and flameZ is going to be the distractor onto Heavy God. Mattis now as well, looking to lose his life, and now it's just SunPayus. He opened up the round, but a 1 versus 4 is going to be a conclusion too far gone. The hunt is even starting to come out from Vitality.
Yeah, they're looking to really try and put the foot down, put the hammer down onto G2, and also that CT economy, right? Like, they know SunPayus has shown a few times with that AWP. So if he can save this, that's great for G2. But Vitality are just slowly constricting around him in this round.
He's got the money that he'll be able to materialize a gun for his team, or maybe back for himself if they want to. AWP down. Vitality getting further and further in the lead on this one, their own map choice.
Just clinical from Vitality, wasn't it? They were just biding their time, waiting for the dissection to occur of G2. So
Euro, AWP, and an A1S for Malbs, so there's a bit of a light investment that needs to get put to really good use here, Jim.
Got to make it work. I think the fact that, you know, they've sort of split the guns between the two sites. All right, like you got SunPayus there. And now they make that readjustment through. They're like, okay, Saw, you got it on lock. You can hold B with just that USP. You're good. We'll now put the two weapons together and connected. They might actually be better together.
But it's not a lot of feelers out in the server, is it? There's no just dictated conversation for G2 to push an extremity, to be a little bit cheeky. No pop flash attempts anymore either. It's just going to be these little dry duels that they can try to swindle this round back into. They do poise the A1S over towards this B site. Love to see the AWP be brought over here as well. Saw has just not even really been needed. Malbs and SunPayus get activated. There's a very real opportunity here that this lesser buy can get the job done with the lion's share of the invested rifles. Just flameZ now, and he can't get it done either. So there you have it. Malbs and SunPayus going in with the guns and coming up with the goods.
Yeah, just playing off each other's shoulder, and it actually works out really well. Malbs picks up 2 there, and then falls back to MBK. And what can they do? They couldn't uproot him from that position. And so they pick up their second round. And look, G2, they're going to need more than that. But the best thing for them out of that round is actually the fact that they pick up 2 extra weapons for free. So it really helps that CT economy. And they're going to need it in these next few rounds. They continue to throw that default top of catwalk smoke. That's just their set default. And they're going to send 2 through underpass this time. But it has actually garnered the attention of G2 in mid. So they also have sent some numbers early on. They do have Malbs at the top of connector. He might actually have to face here, but if they're boosting Rops into the window, that might not be a problem.
Yeah, SunPayus going to be first casualty find up onto Zywoo. Apex falls as well. But little do you know that Rops has snuck his way into jungle, and the favor is back into the fortunes of Vitality. Saw and Heavy God, who's picked up the AWP in towards this round as well now. But there's a minute to go, and there's a bit of question marks being thrown around the map as well. You're not sure if anyone of G2 has pushed in towards Palace. Saw is finding the freebie onto Rops. And from here on out, this is anyone's round.
Yeah, they're actually going to opt to just stand shoulder to shoulder and look to reroute. Do they go back through Palace? Do they go try and all pedal back through the B halls? I think that's going to be the case here, and try and take that one-on-one. Now, Heavy God has that AWP. So his position, sitting at short, will shortly here, and the rotator will be coming through. So they're going to be ready for this. If they can get into this side even better, but there's nothing to dissuade him off the lines at the moment. He misses that first opportunity. But
oh, he misses the shot as well. Oh, no. Plan starts to go down. Saw getting the sprays out. The coach will do it. He might even be able to clutch out this round. flameZ. An opportunity with 10 seconds on the timer. Shut it down. Saw comes out with the 3K. And it's a third found for G2 now.
Oh, Saw getting it done. Okay. Now they've activated the coach. I was wondering where flameZ picks up 2, and I think it's been resolved by that replay. He was at the top of mid. And I thought they would have had a nice open book to be able to get things moving, but the coach coming up clutch.
Well, the fact that Rops is looking the wrong way over at the CT spawn side of things certainly helps the situation as well, doesn't it? Because kind of hinders what Vitality were starting to do coming back towards the A site.
I think you'll find it's just superior game intellect and not timing.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't familiar with Saw's game.
I'm here now to see the Saw slaw. Let's go. Line him up, knock him down.
Well, this B site pop attempt from Vitality right now has the pistols in close proximity, but they are getting absolutely shut down and not able to pass go. As I say, that Apex good at 4-1, and he will be felled. Now flameZ for the 1 versus 3. An opportunity with a lot of time on the clock, but just no HP and no superior line onto Heavy God either. G2, they find 4. That's all they had on the last map. But they are looking a little bit better here on Mirage compared to Train, I will say.
Yeah, definitely far more competitive on this CT side of Mirage. And I think if they can continue to try and get themselves a few more rounds, they'll be giving you a good account of themselves. So SunPayus again will continue on into mid connector. Same default smokes coming out of Vitality early on in the piece. Malbs this time actually going to be pushing through. They're going to push numbers through the B halls early on. They're not going to be expecting this. I haven't done it before.
Well, Rops. Yeah, Rops is going to have a bit of a blinder here. Going to be lights out, you'd assume, if they look down towards him. The general silent creep. Oh, don't tell me they're not even going to look for it. Rops is he's not aware either. We are just passing each other for a bit of shambles in this round. You're going to have no clue if you're flameZ how this has just happened.
Yeah, but it still might actually work out really nicely if Malbs can just direct himself here. Trigger discipline being shown.
Oh, no. He wants more. He wants this round. G2's positioning may very well deserve it, but do you leave it too late? 1 and 2. The execution squad about to lay it down. Here we go. They find all 3. And now it's Apex and Rops, and the ladder is really questioning how this one has come down. I mean, you would assume that they've probably pushed up through mid in this case in point, but if they watch this one back, they'll see that it was just the little apartment waltz. That is a funny, rough round.
Certainly is. Rops had no idea that push was happening. And obviously us, we saw it all unfold in real time. And so there's probably a conversation needs to happen here for Vitality. That bomb was going nowhere into that site. A greatly timed push. Well worked. They haven't done it before. They might not be able to do it again.
We'll see. You never want to say never.
That's just execution, cold-blooded execution on A ramp.
It's a massacre, that's for sure. Timeout invested here by Vitality. They want to make sure that they are cleanly covering this series as well, right? With the performance they put on map number 1, with the close games that they've had, showcasing really good tenacity here at Chengdu already. They're definitely a team that is trying to fight towards a trophy again. Getting that plate. So we'll see if they can get the victory here into the 3rd seed going into the quarterfinals match.
That's it.
Or maybe we see G2 just become demons. Who knows?
Well, before they become demons, they have to get their way through mid. And
the pistols.
Heavy God's in pursuit.
Not going to look to do too much on that one, or are they? You give them a little bit of a taste, but you know, rip the meal away from them. flameZ now the only one, and just pepper through the smoke. G2 will take the lead.
Yeah, we actually highlighted on Train how much Malbs was struggling overall on the map, right? Like, he's actually far more comfortable now on Mirage. I think he's got a little bit more autonomy on this CT side. So he's actually starting to have far more of an impact than he was allowed to in the first match. And I think that's definitely a key difference for me. Obviously, SunPayus too, being able to pick up the green stick and have some real impact, making sure that mid is not easily taken by Vitality. There was a piece earlier on in the half where they were able to quite convincingly take themselves through mid without real opposition. SunPayus has come in, he's locked that down. It's really helped. So they do have a few more strings in their bow on Mirage. And then you can see the two culprits side by side, hand in hand, taking mid connector, pushing out, getting aggressive.
You talk about the strings on their bow, but do they have the arrows to fire on through? A minute to go. Smokes will start to fade. An opportunity for SunPayus potentially to have cracked open the round with this AWP. The second one, mind you. Invested again for Heavy God to hold the apartments.
Smoke going up. Perfect time. Just allow the progression of Mezzy, if he wishes, into to underpass. So
this round is really bleeding down. 30 seconds to go. 10 soldiers in the server still.
yeah,
There needs to be a bit of a decision, Vitality, and it can't just be walk into the crosshairs of this AWP because they are stacked on this A site right now. G2 going on in, a missed shot. flameZ trying to crack them on open, but trades come out. 10 seconds, you need to really force your hand at the moment. You've got the covering fire, sure, but it's Saw to come on through the smoke again. Is he going to be able to do it? 5 seconds. The plant is, there's just no time to get the plant. They need the kills and they get the kills. Are you kidding me? By the skin of their teeth, Vitality will come back with that one and will equalize at the half at 6 apiece. We have a bit more of a fight being presented here in map number 2 in this series by G2. They managed to equalize at the half, but as things exchange and they go into the T side, they're going to be able to steer this one back into a favorable spot to push us into a third, or will Vitality seal the deal here on their map pick?
Well, it's going to start off with a train of Glocks running down mid. Going to stream on interconnector too, is that, well, Pinter will come through. Heavy God's actually pressed. Does get the job done, and now A is under a lot of pressure right now. Mezzy just going to be sitting at sandwich and hopefully he doesn't lose his lunch. As now he's going to pivot on a dime, does find Heavy God now and retakes the position too. So this is actually now a 2v2 with that bomb down in the A site.
And he's done well, hasn't he? Spotting out where SunPayus is, just removing him from the equation. Now it's all on to Saw. What is the coach going to be able to do? I don't know if that's a bait attempt for the guy over off yonder at the Tetris, but, well, he's very narrow focused onto ZywOo at the moment. Gets a bit of a bink onto the face, and it will be smushed in the end by flameZ. Pistol round over to Vitality.
That round's all on flameZ's shoulders. Just steps up when needed. Swats his opposition. He was definitely in a linchpin position. And so gets a much needed pistol round win for Vitality. So just back to pistols upgraded here for the side of G2. And they'll be looking to try and capitalise any over-aggression or mistakes being made from Vitality. But I feel as though the fact that 6 rounds are on the board, they're not going to be taking anything lightly at the moment. ZywOo, though, probably wants to hammer home that he's on top.
Well, you say that, but he's technically not at the moment, right? 6 to 8 after the 25 and 7 that he put up over on map number 1. He wants to make sure that these numbers are going to be kept in the positive.
All he wants
far
to do
against the pistols, so good.
Wants to do his, best Roy Jones Jr. impression. Y'all must have forgot.
Well, that bomb, if it gets picked up, that is spray time. Although Albs has to find it first. He will get it, and ZywOo already peeling away. They know that they've pretty much locked him into the B site here anyways. There's not really a world in which you would assume the G2 would meander back towards the A side of the map.
No, this should just be a shooting gallery. Having to go in.
Wait for it. Yep, well, actually, maybe the Deagles have a bit of bite in them. SunPayus taking down the pistol player in flameZ, who clutched the last round, and now Apex will just finish them all off as well. 6 to 8, clean in the end for Vitality.
Yeah, Apex with the handiwork. The famous. Could have been a moment there where he had to split focus between the two players, but gets the job done. And keeps numbers up for Vitality, keeping that economy rolling. And now we're on to a stronger buy coming out. Saw obviously looking to be the money man, right? Like the bank of G2.
Quite literally, he has been dropping the big boy weapons and finding himself with some lesser ones. Understandable in the situation, though.
Smoke on a mid connector. It will allow Rops to reposition, and also, with ZywOo just keeping guard over it, making sure that there's no early aggression coming out of mid connector.
There's some
Matterstone.
good timing on the utility so far coming out from Vitality as well. Any of the normal tell timings that G2 might try to execute somewhere are being shut down. It's a good start, though. Heavy got on the flames.
It is. Now, flameZ didn't overextend himself, actually digs in, gets the job done. They're going to try and flood this A site. ZywOo is going to try and step out trash. Nothing.
He's done well, hasn't he? At least good for the trade. Apex quite low in this situation. If Rops doesn't win this duel, there's an opportunity now for G2 to dig a little bit deeper and try to close this one. A bit of safety with the plant. Nothing's going to drop them away from being able to do so. And now in the 2 versus 2, they lose Mattis all on to SunPayus. Kill leader at the moment in the server. Still see if he's going to be able to hold on to things here for G2. Catches one in transition. Apex caught with his pants down and now knows where flameZ is, but can't get the job done. Which does mean with defuse, Vitality will increase the scoreline 6 to 9.
Yeah, City Economy really rolling too, so the buyback, no problem at all. That's a pretty tense one, to be honest with you. I actually didn't think anything, or should I say, I didn't think G2 had any business getting into a post-plant scenario there, right? But that swing frag onto Rops at CT Connector just opens up the site entirely. and gives them a nice passage back into the round. So let's just see what G2 can muster now. They've bought into this round. They do have AKs, they do have Galils, but the utility will be somewhat light. So we're not going to see too much layering of utility coming out after the initial smokes go through mid. In fact, one of them has missed as well, so that's not going to be good. Dawood is just absolutely machining his way through. Head on to the site. They have not checked box. Apex is able to find one, not the second, but he does have a lot of damage done to SunPayus, who will now have to work his way through this 2 versus 1. He does have bomb in tow, but both mezZ and Rops are not going to separate too much. However, the situation might actually allow mezZ. Oh. Okay, SunPayus manages to get that done. Dear me. This is absolute destruction. And so now G2's money not getting that bomb plant has suffered. Unfortunately not suffering from success though. So early layering utility coming out through mid. Zywu does get a spot on, but nothing to be spotted. So pop their way out, see if they can overwhelm anyone who's gotten hyper aggressive. No ice on mid from Vitality at the moment either, so they will be able to take on position. Vitality have also deeply set themselves now too. Just waiting their way out.
Oh, you hear that echo. SunPayus, the only one with the gun. Tagged on down, and now the pistols, they're going to start to be swatted as well. There is no entry into this A site from the connector. A little bit too one-dimensional. As I say that, though, SunPayus, disregard the HP, will get felled in the end. And there's just not too much you would assume that G2 could do from there. One more for Heavy God, but that's it. Another one claimed by Vitality. They are indeed looking to try and make this one a clean 2-0 today.
Yeah. Treat them mean, keep them keen. In this case, keep it clean. That's exactly the kind of treatment that Vitality are trying to give to G2 right now. To be honest with you, I'm actually impressed G2 have been able to get themselves into a position with 6 rounds to begin with. I didn't think it would be a case of them, you know, having come through into this series strongly, having to replace Hunter at the last minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a just really unfortunate circumstance, right? He plays the earlier series today for G2. And they do manage to get the win over Virtus Pro. Gets a bit shaky, you know, in the very beginning on Overpass especially, and then things start to clean up on Inferno, and then you just wonder, unfortunately for poor old Virtus Pro, Dust 2, unlucky. Try again next time. But I gotta say, for VP as well, the fact that they managed to take the name of FaZe in this tournament, I'd be absolutely happy with that result as well. So for their little efforts and their progression for this new look as well, it wouldn't be too hard done by.
I wouldn't say so. Nonetheless, unfortunate circumstances that we overcome. So it does actually manage to find a trade. Early pressure now being put on by Mattis. He's hoping to try and pull that rotation across to the site. They are only going to keep one player on B though, Vitality. They are just not convinced that it's going to end up that way. So G2 going to go dark on any sort of contact. Smoke may go down in mid, but they're just trying to now work their way through the mid round. No eyes on mid, no contact made. This is purely just Vitality on that read.
else do we have, though, for G2 in this scenario? mezZ spotting out what he needs to. Good for one. ZywOo, how much will he be able to find now that this AWP can just dance and try to deliver around the site? There's a 2 versus 2 with 20 seconds to go. You've got the time spot on your side as well. Can you survive? Can you buy enough time for Apex to really get his runners on over here? Just playing these off angles around the pillar, trying to keep things entertaining. There is so much time being directed away from this one, but it does not matter because Apex was not spotted and just assumed in position by mAlbs at the end. Another one to the way of G2. They finally find one on this T side.
Yeah, mAlbs again, just coming back into the fray. Having a much better map than before, but they're going to need more production out of him. They're going to need more production out of everybody else on G2 if they're going to try and overcome the Inception mode.
Good start.
That was cool.
Still need to make sure that you are dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's in these sort of scenarios as Vitality. G2 aren't going to go down without a fight. We'll still formulate some pretty good ideas as well. If they can capitalize on advantages, then they may still be in for this map. Though that's good allocation from Rops onto mAlbs. A bit of a headshot angle as well, given up in towards mid. Needs some assistance, but that's not going to come into the play from flameZ. He's just off put from this one. And we open up the accounts over at this B site for the plant to go down.
Well, they've worked their way through post-plant positionings before. Both flameZ and Rops are a little squishy, so I think that right decision has been made.
Yeah, I want nothing of it.
Just save, save, save. Well, doesn't this have some twists and turns potentially remaining in the match? Saw starting to orchestrate the symphony of G2.
I'm sorry, Jim, but Twisters on phase and they're gone. There's no turns there.
No, I know this, but if you'll bear with me.
Okay.
He's hoping to be the one to overturn this deficit.
Discussion time for Vitality once more. Making sure that they can... Well, just making sure that they use all of the available timeouts to make sure they do win this series 2-0, I think is important for them. It'd be a very strange feeling if Vitality get massively pressured with Saw in the game versus Hunter. But I gotta say, Saw's had his moments, don't get me wrong. It's been kind of nice to see him back in the field after so long. I'm sure he's having some fun up there on the stage as well. Reminiscing?
Yeah, well, I mean, they were quite jovial, you know, at the break of maps, right? They were having a joke, we're having a laugh on the cameras, but obviously come game time, things are a little bit more serious. Early set of smokes coming out in mid for G2, just setting up that nice default flash there. Does catch Rops off, forces him off the line. So the opener's starting to work their way through.
Ooh. flameZ has no idea that they've already got up towards Catwalk at the moment, so there might be a bit of a rude awakening for Apex on this site with mezZ. Util starts to rain on down, and Saw, he's going to get that one stolen by mAlbs. Now Apex split in decisions on who to take the fight against, and he's just going to get overwhelmed on this B site. This was the lighter investment for Vitality, though, remember, on the back of saving what they could. So it's very well navigated in the end for G2 to only see one casualty here. They will get a little bit closer in the scoreline on Mirage now. And we'll see what tail end damage can come out here from ZywOo to still keep things a little bit perhaps interesting to the money situation at G2 later on. But that doesn't matter. He gets shut down as 9 is achieved.
Well, this is now getting a little bit more tense for Vitality as they start to concede some rounds. Look at this. If they even win a map, I think it's safe to say that he came, he saw, and he conquered.
If they win a map.
If they win a map.
Or maybe even if he outperforms one of the teammates. Because that would be, quite the positive for Saw. Negative overall as G2 would get eliminated, but individually so. Got to feel internally all right to some degree.
Good for the HLTV profile. That's about it.
Well, that one maybe not so much.
I think regardless though, if you're Vitality, right, you're going, guys, G2 have got their coach in. We can't be losing rounds like this. We actually need to kind of, tighten our belts, pull our socks up and get this done. This is bleeding out for us. We don't want this, going against us in any way whatsoever. We're trying to build, some confidence heading into the playoff stage. And look, when SunPayus is just able to run out mid around their own smoke and do that to you, it's not a good start.
No, there will be these moments where sometimes Apex will walk out and wonder, why have I just done that? This probably being one of them as well. The AWP getting the better of him and no trades to come on through. We're shooting the ghost of where SunPayus was earlier on. Finally, flameZ is going to be able to answer back and get some little chipper damage on towards Malbs, but just passing each other through the smoke. You got to realize, guys, that the A site is just completely absent of the Vitality members. You could have been pushed from there. And as the bomb will be reclaimed, this is going to be an extremely clean round, pretty much, for G2. Just SunPayus, but he'd already found his damage. There'll be double digits here for G2.
Yeah. They were caught trying to take Jules in mid. They leave the A site completely open. Mattis is just able to run on in, unopposed, and kill the player in connector. Like, I'm not sure what's going on here for Vitality, but I think it's safe to say that they, may be getting ahead of themselves, or may have gotten ahead of themselves, and now it's starting to catch up with them.
Is it a bit of overconfidence that does get the better of you, Jim? There's some smart decision-making that is being delivered by G2, though, so that is a bit of a contributing factor. Despite Saw being in this one, which now he won't be in the current present round, but hey, bomb blows up, G2 will find the rounds. Malbs won't hold on to his gun. They're kind of flourishing in cash though, so it doesn't really matter as well. G2 are slowly but surely looking to tie things up. If they do somehow manage to find this map,
yeah,
what does that make you think about Vitality? And what does that also then make you think about G2's chances going into Inferno?
Well, we already have seen a shaky Vitality early on in the piece, right? Like they dropped their, second series ever to Mouse. And that's how they found themselves in the lower bracket. But, okay, this is some aggression coming out of Vitality to try and catch anybody up. But Mattis is just not being bothered by this whatsoever. He's looking for the second. He cleans it up. He has been an absolute rock for G2.
And caution to the wind there a little bit as Vitality are now in the 5 versus 3. You don't need to see a massive steamroll from G2 in towards the B site. They can let it simmer for a little. Apex with an MP9. How much are you going to be able to find here to give your teammates maybe some confidence they can go in? It was a bit of a saved and reserved buy going in towards this round, though, for Vitality.
Well, they've gone dead, gone quiet, showing no presence anywhere else in the map at the moment. And all it's done, it's left poor Apex in a situation now where he has got to be the solo B anchor, and he is about to try and withhold a flood of G2 players.
He's just a little bit lucky that it's not going to be a B split where the Catwalk player would absolutely find him. That might still happen if Heavy God is allowed to get a little bit closer, but it's go time now for G2 to get out into this site. Apex, good for the first one, can't get anything else. Zywoo for one as well, and you half fought in towards this one. You may as well give it a bit of a crack if you are Vitality to maybe steal this round, although there will be no G2 members that will give you some fights that you would feel more favorable on. So as you do wait for Rops to get up through apartments, decisions to be made in a few seconds. No kits, a flash and a HE. Zywoo's already called this one. There's just no way you're getting back into it. And even damage control at the end of the day, not going to be too much We will have a tied scoreline now on Mirage.
Did not have this on the bingo card whatsoever. But they managed to get themselves on equal footing in the later stages of this match. And look, Mattis has done a great job here. He stops the push from coming through, being successful. Vitality just hoping to try and catch G2 unawares in the setup for the round. It did not pay off whatsoever. And so now tactical timeout for Vitality. They're third on this map. And that, to me, that kind of tells you all you need to know about the map so far for Vitality. The fact they're on their third timeout and they're sitting 11-11 with a G2 roster that currently has their coach sitting in the IGL role.
I got something for you here as well, Jim. It is currently 6-16 opening kills in this map. G2 has 16.
Well. I think that's the stat that is going to stick out. That's Iwood. He's going to be put under pressure early on. He's going to get out with that smoke assisting him. But he does not find the opening early pick, so let's just see whether or not he resurfaces elsewhere on the map. Slightly more A-skewed approach now from G2. Something I actually haven't done a lot of. But when they found their way out into this site, it's usually on the back of some aggression towards mid from Vitality. So they're drawing players off the A site and it's leaving and it has left things open. But there's nobody in mid at the moment. There's that single smoke, hoping to try and garner some attention. And look, flameZ is in a really good spot here. He could be a real disruption and could get some early info and a rotation.
He's got to find this one, but SunPayus is aware. Shadow Peak is advantage right now. flameZ only good for some extra damage on towards Malbs. The rest of the arsenal, though, coming over for Vitality towards this A site now. It's the overwhelming forces of G2 electing to try and get on in. That vertical flick would have been gorgeous if ZywOo gets taken down. Favorable advantage now for G2. You would assume if you missed that grenade that's just come on through. It's risky to try and get that plant down there, Saw. It's just denied. And now it's all on to Heavy God. 30 seconds to go. Can he split the situation? As mezZ starts to peel on back, he doesn't want to give the opportunity for two one-on-ones. But now you're in the open and you get swung and denied. Vitality hit map point, but it has been a while between drinks till we've just seen some good look from them in this map.
Yeah, it's been a while between drinks for Vitality and important round wins. That plant denial, obviously crucial to everything, but I think Rops just making sure that mezZ was peeling back to him and not trying to isolate and take 1v1 duels. Super important in that instance. And now it is series point for Vitality. G2 have done a great job of getting themselves to this point, but will need to force overtime if they're going to keep their IEM Chengdu dreams and hopes alive.
Yep. Some early apartments control, nice and deep for Mattis at the moment. Trying to see if he can be offered a free fight. No one really giving him that opportunity at the moment. I say that. I lie. Big fat liar. mezZ onto Mattis.
Tough angle to clear as well. Rops gets the better of SunPayus.
Oh, and the molly.
Try and get away.
Mattis gets ahead of it, but you blink and you miss what Saw is doing. Can Saw bring us to overtime? They have no idea. It's all to the angles. He's got the trigger discipline, but it's only the one. Would he have needed the second here? The reveal for Heavy God with the molly out of the apartments and Malbs up at short. He's extending in towards the site. The jig is up. The positions are known. The sidearm is pulled on out, but can the Deagle of Apex get it done? Yes, it can. You kneecap Heavy God, and Malbs will fall as well. Vitality do get this series in the end, 13-11, but Mirage here was very, very well fought by G2 at the end.
That is a tough pill to swallow for G2. They came so close in the match, but look, I'll be honest with you, I don't think